Salams and welcome. Thank you for joining me in another episode of the Quran in English Basics for Beginners. And we're busy with chapter number 36 of the Quran, Surah Yasin. We're busy with section number 5, A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajeem. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, verse number 68. وَمَن نُعَمِّرْهُ نُنَكِّثْهُ فِي الْخَلْقِ أَفَلَا يَأْكِلُونَ. If we grant long life to any, we cause him to be reversed in nature. Will they not then understand? Everything is possible with Allah. If you doubt how man can be transformed from his present nature, contemplate the transformations he already undergoes in his present nature at different ages. For example, as a child, powers of mind and body are still undeveloped. As he grows, these powers grow, and certain moral qualities such as courage and daring, the will to conquer, they unfold themselves. Furthermore, as he gets older, in extreme old age, these are again obscured, and a second childhood supervenes. The back of the man who walked proudly straight and erect is now bent. If these transformations take place, even in his present nature and constitution, how much easier was it for Allah to cast him in an immobile mold? But Allah granted him instead the high possibilities and responsibilities referred in the last note. Will they not then understand? أَفَلَا يَأْكِلُونَ وَمَا عَلَّمْنَاهُ الشِّحْرَ وَمَا يَنبَغِي لَهُ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا ذِكْرٌ وَقُرْآنٌ مُبِينٌ. We have not instructed the prophet in poetry, nor is it meet for him. This is no less than a message and a Quran making things clear. Here, poetry in inverted commas is used as a connoting fairy tales, imaginary descriptions, things futile, false, obscure, such as decadent poetry, whereas the Quran is a practical guide, true and clear. لِيُنذِرَ مَنْ كَانَ حَيًّا وَيُحِقَّ الْقَوْلُ عَلَى الْكَافِرِينَ, that it may give admonition to any who are alive, and that the charge may be proved against those who reject truth. Alive, both in English and Arabic, means not only having physical life, but having all the active qualities which we associate with life. In religious language, those who are not responsive to the realities of the spiritual world are no better than those who are dead. The message of Allah penetrates the hearts of those who are alive in the spiritual sense. وَيَحِقَّ الْقَوْلُ عَلَى الْكَافِرِينَ, and that the charge may be proved against those who reject truth. If people reject truth and faith after they have been admonished and warned, the charge against them of willful rebellion is proved. They cannot then plead either ignorance or inadvertence. أَوَلَمْ يَرَوْا أَنَّا خَلَقْنَا لَهُم مِّمَّا عَمِلَتْ أَيْدِينَا أَنْعَامًا فَهُمْ لَهَا مَالِكُونَ أَوَلَمْ يَرَوْا أَنَّا خَلَقْنَا لَهُم مِّمَّا عَمِلَتْ أَيْدِينَا أَنْعَامًا فَهُمْ لَهَا مَالِكُونَ. See they not that it is we who have created for them among the things which our hands have fashioned, cattle, which are under their dominion. If they are blind to other signs of Allah, they can at least see the simple, homely things of life, in which they receive so many benefits from Allah's mercy. How is it that wild animals can be domesticated, and in their domestication can be so useful to people? Man can use them for riding or for drought, for pulling labor. He can use their flesh for food and drink their milk. He can use their hair or their wool. وَذَلَّلْنَاهَا لَهُمْ فَمِنْهَا رَكُوبُهُمْ وَمِنْهَا يَأْكُلُونَ, and that we have subjected them to their use. Of them, some do carry them, and some they eat. وَلَهُمْ فِيهَا مَنَافِعُ وَمَشَارِبُ أَفَلَا يَشْكُرُونَ. and they have other prophets from them besides, and they get milk to drink. Will they not then be grateful? So the other prophets they get from the animals is like skins for leather, furs for warmth, sheep's wool, or camel's hair for blanket, or textiles, or musk for perfume, and so on, right? Afala yashkurun. Will they not then be grateful? The whole argument turns on this. Our teaching is for your benefit. We confer all these blessings on you, yet you turn away from the giver of all and you run after your own vain imaginations. وَاتَّخَذُوا مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ آلِهَةً لَعَلَّهُمْ يُنْصَرُونَ. Yet they take for worship gods other than Allah, hoping that they might be helped. لا يستطيعون نصرهم وهم لهم جند محضرون. They have not the power to help them, but they will be brought up before our judgment seat as a troop to be condemned. There is some difference of opinion among commentators as to the exact meaning to be attached to the scroll. So as what I mentioned, we are only focusing on the basics. For the academics and the ulama and the serious students, they can go into the various difference of opinions, right? So we'll skip the section because we don't want to get complicated. We are just doing it simple. وَلَا يَحْزُنْكَ قَوْلُهُمْ. Let not their speech then grieve you. إِنَّا نَحْلَهُ مَا يُقِرُونَ وَمَا يُعْلِنُونَ. Verily, we know what they hide as well as what they disclose. If men are so foolish, people, men and women are so foolish as to reject Allah, let not the men of Allah grieve over it. They should simply do their duty and leave the rest to Allah. Allah knows all the open and secret motives that sway and motivate the wicked people, and His plan must ultimately prevail, however much appearances may be against it at any given time. Verily, we know what they hide as well as what they disclose. Join me in the next episode as we continue now with the last section of Surah Yasin. Alhamdulillah.